Listen to this. No one remembers All-Stars, okay? No one remembers all NBAs. No one remembers all defensive teams. No one remembers none of that shit. People remember champions.
Well, he has some good points.
LeBron James just pulled a move he almost never does. He dropped his real thoughts out loud, and the whole basketball world felt that shockwave hit instantly.
LeBron James doesn't have a problem with ring culture. He has a problem with more rings culture.
He opened up on his podcast and questioned why people act like championships are the only thing that decides greatness. But the moment that clip hit the internet, players, analysts, and fans jumped in fast. Not out of hate, but because a lot of people feel like he's trying to shift the rules now that he can see he might never catch Michael Jordan's legacy. So what did he actually say that made Ryan Clark and Kendrick Perkins call him out so quick?
Because LeBron has curated his career around ring culture. Because if he didn't, LeBron James never goes to South Beach. He went to South Beach because he understood that as individually dominant as he was nothing without those rings.
And what does this mean for how people will talk about LeBron moving forward? To get the full picture, we gotta stop and look at where this whole obsession with rings even started in the first place. The roots of ring culture go way back, long before debates took over YouTube comment sections or barbershop arguments went viral.
Kobe rolling over in his grave right now for some of the conversations that some of my former peers and current players are having right now about this ring culture.
Championships were already the ultimate badge. Bill Russell's 11 rings turned him into a mythical figure. Magic and Bird's duels ran the 80s, and then Michael Jordan showed up and made that 6-for-6 record the gold standard everyone else gets judged by. Ring culture didn't begin with LeBron. It just got way louder during his time because every step of his career was under a spotlight. And here's the twist. LeBron used to lean into the ring talk heavy. Think back to when he joined Miami and dropped that famous line about not one, not two, not three. That wasn't just big talk. That was him telling everybody, place my value on how much I win.
Not two. LeBron, tell us about that. Not two, not three, not four.
And now it sounds like he's trying to flip the conversation into something new. To really get why this moment exploded, we gotta look at what Ryan Clark said next, because he dropped a line that shook the whole conversation. Ryan Clark, coming from the NFL world, didn't sugarcoat anything. He straight up said LeBron doesn't hate ring culture, he hates more rings culture. That one sentence hit hard because it cuts right to the truth. LeBron's got 4 championships, which puts him among the greats, but every time someone puts him next to Jordan, the talk always circles back to that magic number 6. That number has been hanging over LeBron's legacy like a storm cloud for his entire career, and Clark spelled it out crystal clear. LeBron built his whole journey around chasing rings, chasing moments, chasing greatness. That's the real reason he took his talents to South Beach. If rings didn't matter, why bounce from Cleveland? Why team up with D-Wade and Bosh? Why call the 2016 comeback the moment he became the GOAT? Because even LeBron once believed that the ring count was the biggest part of the argument. But now, with the end of his career getting closer and he's still sitting 2 rings behind Jordan, the whole tone is shifting fast. And that's why Clark's words hit so deep. They came from someone outside the NBA who's just calling it how he sees it. But Ryan wasn't the only one who spoke up quick. Kendrick Perkins, one of the loudest voices writing for LeBron in the media, surprised everybody when he decided not to stay quiet this time. He jumped in with his own take and he didn't soften it one bit. Kendrick Perkins didn't just push back, he stood 10 toes down and backed ring culture like it's a law of the game. He asked a simple question: do championships take away from your greatness? And he answered it himself. No, but they absolutely boost it. Perk hit a nerve because he pointed out something everybody already knows deep down. Nobody's bragging about how many all-star games someone made. People remember who walked away with the trophy. Ask a casual fan who won in 2004 and they'll say the Pistons. Ask about 2000 and they'll say the Lakers. Mention 2008 and the Celtics pop right into their mind. That's how people's memory works in basketball, straight up. So when LeBron tries to say rings don't matter as much these days, even his own people can tell something is off. And the criticism didn't stay inside ESPN studios. This whole moment opened the door to something way deeper. What LeBron really wants right now. LeBron's greatness has never been in question, but the weight of his legacy has always been complicated. He's been in the spotlight since he was 16, stamped as the chosen one, compared to Jordan before he ever even played an NBA minute. And no one can deny how much he's done. His longevity, his consistency, his insane numbers, He's done things we've never seen before, but when people talk about the GOAT, none of that hits as hard as the one thing that decides the conversation: wins. And it's starting to sound like LeBron knows he might never reach that final level. So now, he's trying to flip the script. He wants to redefine greatness, shift how people talk about legacies, and change the whole measurement by downplaying the one category he can't touch Jordan in: rings. This isn't just about some podcast convo. This is about the psychology of legacy, the part players don't talk about but think about all the time. And that brings us to the real question: do all rings actually weigh the same? This is where everything gets messy. A lot of fans say some championships just don't hit as hard. Some claim the bubble rings shouldn't count the same. Some say KD's rings with the Warriors weren't as impressive. Others argue Dirk's 2011 run was worth more than most players' entire careers. And if you look at it that way, you can understand why LeBron feels frustrated. He won a ring in Cleveland against a 73-9 Warriors team. That might be the most ridiculous championship anyone's ever earned. But here's the part nobody can escape. Even if rings are different in difficulty, they still count the same on your record. And in the GOAT debate, nobody gets to delete rings just because they don't match the story they prefer. Jordan didn't just collect 6 rings. He grabbed them in 2 separate three-peats, never lost in the finals, and never even needed a Game 7 to finish a job. Meanwhile, LeBron sits at 4 rings with 10 finals trips and 6 losses, which paints a totally different picture. Trying to downplay how much championships matter doesn't erase that gap, and deep down, everybody knows it. But here's the wild twist. This whole situation isn't just about Jordan anymore. LeBron is reacting to an entire new generation watching the game differently. A generation that saw Giannis win one by staying loyal, watched Steph win with mostly homegrown talent, and saw Jokic dominate without forming a super team. And that shift matters because the standard for greatness is slowly sliding back to the old roots. It's not only about stats or hype, it's about how you win, who you beat, and whether you made your team stronger when the lights were brightest. And when the next wave of stars, like Luka, Shea, or Wemby, start chasing that first championship, ring culture is only going to hit harder. As Big Perk said, championships stick to your name forever. LeBron's greatness is untouched. 22 seasons, 4 rings, all-time leading scorer, a one-of-one type career that no one can duplicate. But the GOAT talk has always been tied to one thing: titles. That's why, no matter how much the message changes, no matter how many podcast episodes get recorded, ring culture isn't disappearing. Legends get remembered for those defining moments. And in the NBA, those moments happen in June. If you made it all the way to this point, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and drop your thoughts below. Does LeBron's argument really hold weight, or is the GOAT crown staying locked in Chicago? Appreciate you for watching, and see you on the next one.